Okay, well, we're going through this folder that my mother had in her desk, kind of office desk in her house, and she said it's me stuff. So let's see. It is my 5th grade report card. Woohoo! 5th grade report card. Michael is very bright. He is anxious to participate and usually contributes to class discussions. He needs some motivation to read and has some difficulty writing due to a physical problem. I don't know what physical problem the teacher's talking about. Reading, I was 1 year above grade level, and mathematics, I was 1 year above grade level. 5th grade report card. Weird story, a paragraph that I wrote in December 1986 called A Monster from Egolo. Once a monster from Egolo came and said, "Do you have any ice cream?" I said, "Sure." He said, "On Egolo, 1 scoop of ice cream is worth $2,000. I said, "Wow." He said, if you give me a box, I will give you a changing gizmo." I said, "Okay, here." I gave him a box of ice cream and he gave me the gizmo. I turned it on and put it on the transformer hot rod. It was fun driving around the street as a car and transforming back to a robot. One day I turned to my worst enemy, Jack. I went to school and Jack was sick. I hit everyone. The next day the teacher saw 2 Jacks. I got caught at my own game. That's a little weird. Shark. This was in December 1986. I am a shark. Everything was okay until September 9th, 1999, when sailors dumped junk into the sea. I was mad. I hated them. Then at 3 p.m. on December 31st, 1999, I broke their ship and they sunk. I ate all of them. I stopped pollution. January 1987, the tornado. It was a warm day at Zooksville, Kansas. The Sedcos were working at their farm. Bart Sedco saw a tornado. He said, "Tornado alert." Mary, his wife, said, "Everyone to the storm cellar." The twister was shredding its way through Zooksville, making a big mess, ripping the roofs off the house, whipping straw from the haystacks in the air, and tossing gates in the air. John took the baby Jane to the cellar, and Bart took Mary to the cellar. Mary bought food. Danny would not come. He said, "The twister will not hit me." The twister came and left. They came out and found Danny dead. It's a little morbid. I was a Mets fan in 1986, still kind of am. And in August 1986, I had to write a 1-paragraph story called Pretend. I pretend that I made a gun that slows things down. I would slow down Mike Scott's balls and let the Mets win. So the Astros do not win. I will turn invisible and put glue on the baseline and the outfield. I will give the Mets special shoes so the glue will not slow them down. Go Mets. In September 1986, I had to write a story, 4th grade for English class. It says, "A friendly monster. Once I found a weird alien lying down as if dead. I quickly picked him up and put him on my bed. He looked ugly. I wondered where he came from. Suddenly he woke up and said, 'Balagoon.' I said, 'Where do you come from?' He said, 'Saturn.' An hour later, we went to his ship. It was very, very weird. We went inside the ship. We saw tons of dead aliens. When the ship crashed, he must have jumped out. I said, 'Now he's one of a kind.' I like him. He looks perfect. It's not easy wearing green." This looks like a military poem. "It's not easy wearing green, always hiding in a bush, trying not to be seen. It's not easy wearing green, carrying around that M16. It's not easy wearing green. The Pope wears white because he's right. I wear green because I'm mean. I'm a green wearing volunteer, but I still can't drink beer. I wear green, not orange, yellow, or red, purple, or blue, or even hot pink. That's just one fact that make people think. Why? It's not easy wearing green. Make the wrong move, I'll cut your spleen. No, it's not easy wearing green. Turn yourself into a mass-killing machine. It's not easy wearing green. See Charlie eating his chow. Head in the sight picture and then kaplow. Charlie's brain rolls slowly down the hill. Wearing green always allows you to have this thrill. Kill a commie, it's legal, as long as you do it for the bald eagle. Or maybe wearing green makes me glad. Being good, do away with the bad. It's downright spiffy wearing green. Go to the field, be smelly, not clean. It's downright spiffy wearing green. all the colors of the rainbow. This is the one I'm being and staying. Because it's pretty cool wearing green. Always hiding in a bush, trying not to be seen. It's pretty cool wearing green. Always carrying around an M16, wearing green. I wrote this in the first year in the Army. My first ever article in the FSU newspaper. Entire printouts of my college graduation. Yay! Another Lords of the Nude flyer. Yes! So on January 28, 2005, I turned 10,000 days old and wrote my mother to remind her. This is an entire series of emails I wrote to my dad that said I had been captured in Iraq, while meanwhile I was in my barracks room in Texas. So let's see if we got any more of these. Because this seems to be like, I wrote my dad an entire thing about me getting deployed to Iraq, and I'd call my mom and be like, hey, it's all bullshit. And I wrote my dad, I was like, hey, I'm getting deployed to Iraq, and this was in 1998. So Iraq really wasn't that hot. But I was like, yeah, and then, I wrote my dad, and it was like, here's one. Dear sir, we have taken your son. If you want him returned, please deposit 1,294 American dollars into your mailbox. Be very subtle, for we are watching your every move. You have 14 days to comply. If you fail to deposit the money, we will torture your son. Such a fine boy will make good bait for our mutant goldfish. The soonest we will allow your son to contact you is Tuesday, February 3rd. Thank you. Your friends in the Iraq Military Embassy. So I wrote that to my dad. Didn't tell him it was coming. And my mom, I called her on the phone. I was like, hey, Dad's going to get emails. Just roll with it. So I was compiling this prank on my dad. So I think my dad must have wrote me back. So on February 2nd, the next day, it says, Dear sir, we discovered your letter. It seems your son was trying to eat it along with the rodent he had killed in his cell. We have chosen to answer your questions. The significance of the $1,294 is that this is the amount we have deemed your son to be worth. We have determined his value by taking his weight, subtracting it from the years in which we assume he would live had he not been placed in our clutches, multiplying it by his age, then subtracting the first 3 digits of his social security number. As for your mailman, we cannot tell you the nationality of Kareem al-Sudafed, our new mail handler. The mutant goldfish are not an emission of the weapons of mass destruction. We have chosen to reveal those at a later date. Finally, sir, your threats of violence do not scare us. The only thing our fearless leader feels is a sexual scandal. He does not wish that on anyone, even his enemies. We will not let your son speak to you tomorrow. We will let your son speak to you tomorrow night. More threats of violence, and this will not happen. Loves and kisses, the Iraqi Military Embassy. The next day I wrote my dad, and I said, Dad, Iraq is a peaceful country. The people here are very nice. The U.S. is to blame for many of the problems here. Do not harm these peaceful people. They love everyone. They wish me no harm. They have taken care of me and catered to my every whim. They are our friends. Then the next day, Dear sir, your letter involving your president were quite humorous. We had them faxed to our presidential palace. Your jokes even bring us were even more humorous to us when we read them to your son. We forgot to bring our translator to his cell, so he did not understand any of them. One of our secret communist agents lives on your block. He has informed us that you have made little or no effort to forward us the appropriate payment for your son. Your deadline is quickly approaching. Maybe you do not care. That is quite a shame. Before we starved him for 5 days, he was quite a physical specimen. Every time we played American country music, he went crazy. He would scream, yell, and run about for countless hours. Forever yours, the Iraqi Military Embassy. Dear sir, the captive's mother may indeed, this is 2 days later, may indeed send him something to the Iraqi postal office. You, sir, due to your lack of respect towards us, cannot. We will inspect any package's contents upon its arrival. This is to ensure the captive does not receive anything that would aid a possible escape. Ensure his tax information is included. We do not want the U.S. government hunting down your son because he did not pay taxes. Any food product sent to your son will be immediately consumed by us. Yours in faith, the Iraqi Military Embassy. Dear sir, because we have reason to believe our incompetent associate has used a poor mailing system, we have given your son an extension to live. We have scheduled his execution for Wednesday, February 18th. If you wish to attend, arrangements can be made through Ticketmaster. Already scheduled to appear at your son's execution is an American celebrity, Jane Fonda. We would hate to disappoint Mrs. Fonda, but we may have to if we receive our payment. Dear Dad, the Iraqi Military Embassy wanted me to write you and inform you that they are happy you accepted their invitation to my execution. So it's with a happy heart that I say my last vision. The last vision I hope to see is my dad assassinating Saddam Hussein. Hope to see you soon. February 10th, 1998. Dear sir, how dare you send soldiers to rescue your son? Yes, we are avid watchers of your CNN. We are prepared. If it wasn't because Mrs. Fonda has already told us that she's attending, we would have moved up your son's execution date. Do not attempt any military action against us. Your son will most definitely suffer in our torture chambers. We have heard from your son that you will not be attending his execution. Never has a breakdown of American values been more evident to us. An Iraqi father would give up his left arm to see his son's execution. Apparently you believe the price of admission is too high. As you say in America, suck it up. Your son's execution is a big matter here in Iraq. We, the Iraqi military embassy, have decided to capitalize on this popularity and earn money. You Americans should see no problem with this. Dear sir, February 11th, 1998. Dear sir, do you believe our army to be incompetent? How dare you attempt to send lesser fighting vehicles to intimidate us? We are not afraid of your little tanks, no less your puny infantry vehicles. Against our million-man army, you Americans stand no chance. Remember, no one supports you. We always have Allah on our side. Let's put it this way. Would not you Americans get mad if someone entered your home, demanding to see where you keep your firearms so they may steal them at a later date? Have you forgotten? The clock is ticking. Your son seems to have given up hope. The only time we see him slightly amused is when we play dubbed Jerry Springer shows. Dear sir, your son is to be executed by firing squad at noon. This was on February 17, 1998. No more pleas to be heard, no more extensions given. We will no longer accept your money. Your son will perish. We have sold over 21,000 tickets to your son's execution. The total profits have not yet been added up, but we expect to make the equivalent of over 13 million American dollars. Best wishes, the Iraqi Military Embassy. Tuesday, February 19th, 1998. Dear Dad, wow, what a day. As you may have known, I was to be executed by the Iraqis on the 18th. As you can tell, this did not occur. I am alive and well writing you from Kuwait. What a strange sequence of events. I will only attempt to tell you what I can remember of my escape. About 11:30 Eastern Time, after my last year of horribly prepared cheese and macaroni and cheese hot dogs, I was dragged from my prison cell. I was brought to an arena similar to a Roman Colosseum. Screaming Iraqis were all around, thousands upon thousands. There was a firing squad prepared to execute me. I was positioned in the spot where I was to be executed at 11:45 as the clock ticked and the minutes passed. I've thought of home and everything that had happened. I was awoken from my daydream by a large sound. The execution was to begin. 11:57, 11:58. Suddenly, everyone looked to the sky. A plane passed overhead and a man parachuted out of it. I'd seen this man before. It was Fan Man, the man who had parachuted into a boxing ring several years ago. Here he was parachuting into my execution. Well, Fan Man's stay was short-lived. He was shot by anti-aircraft guns positioned around the Coliseum. His lifeless body plummeted through the sky. As it neared the ground, I could tell the body was about to strike the firing squad. I knew this was my chance. As the body collapsed atop the firing squad, I charged towards them. The parachute covered 3 gunners of the 4-man squad. The 4th gunner was knocked out by the force of the incoming body. As I grabbed his gun, shot the members of the firing squad, and ran as fast as I could out of the Coliseum, leaving a trail of dead Iraqis in my wake. Once out of the Coliseum, I used a great American skill, carjacking, to exit Baghdad. I drove as fast and as far as I could in the garbage Iraqi car, which is approximately 40 miles to the Kuwaiti border. I walked the remaining distance to Kuwait. By the time I was spotted by a soldier from Fort Stewart, Georgia, I was dehydrated and near death. The soldier took me to the field medic station. From there, my wounds were dressed and I was taken to a military post where I was further treated. It is at this post that I'm writing you now because no aircraft is to take off from this post to Fort Hood. I'm taking the next plane to the closest location to Fort Hood. According to the sergeant with whom I talked to, the plane is a J-Stars aircraft headed for Warner Robins Base, Georgia. From there, I was to take a shuttle to Fort Hood. Well, I just wanted to let you know I'm okay and should be back in my regular routine shortly. So that was me writing a prank to my dad over a 2-week span in 1998 that I was captured by the Iraqis, due to be executed, and escaped because a fan parachuted in the stadium and knocked out the firing squad. I stole the gun, stole a car, and made my way back to Kuwait, to an American base, and flew back to America. Thank you for joining me in this walk through this stuff that my mom gave me. A lot of memories here, a lot of from 1995, earlier than that, 4th grade, 5th grade, 1995 Army stuff, me pranking my dad about getting captured by the Iraqis. Just a lot of fun memories in here. Thank you for joining.